Hey guys, how you doing? I've got to shoot this video again. It's a shame. I spoke really well, but it didn't come out right with the lighting and stuff. So this video is about, I'm going to speak about overcoming your fear of speaking on the phone. And if you have got a fear of speaking on the phone, you've come to the right video. Stay on the video. I'm going to share some tips with you. I actually practiced these tips today to help me to, get over my fear of speaking on the phone. It's something I've been doing for a long time. So first of all, I just want to say that it's no surprise to me that you who've clicked this video have got fear of speaking on the phone to people. A lot of people have actually, and I'm one of them. Well, I was, right? Because I've got much better at it now. I've been in the process of overcoming it. So you're not less of a person. You're not strange. You're not weird. You're not different to everyone else because you find it very frightening and nerve-wracking coming on the phone. So before I get into the tips, I'll just quickly tell you really quickly about my childhood fear of speaking on the phone and where it came from and how I've been practicing getting over this and why I want to help as many people as I can to overcome this fear as well, because it's a life skill that you need. At some point you're going to have to get on that phone because you can't move forward in life, and I'll explain that. So we'll make this video fun, enjoyable. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom because it's in the area of anxiety and fear. And that's another thing about turning fear into excitement. So subscribe if you're new to my channel and you like the stuff that I do on the channel. And for the regulars, I really appreciate your support. Like and share as always. So excuse me. Get a pen ready and a piece of paper. Take the notes that I'm gonna give you, that are gonna help you, gonna give you tips and break them down, alright? What I always do in my videos, I give several different approaches because not everyone's the same. People respond to different things, so I might go off topic to give you tips over here, if that makes sense. Right, my fear of speaking on the phone, my first early childhood memory of being frightened to come on the phone was when I was living with my parents, obviously. The phone rang, the house phone rang, because back then we didn't have technology and YouTube, it didn't even exist, right? And mobile phones were still quite rare. They were just coming out, and the models were very basic, and they were quite expensive. So I probably couldn't have even afforded a mobile phone at that point, right? My mum had a house phone, so my mum called me, right? I lived upstairs, and said, "It's for you. Someone's on the phone." And then when I came to the stairs, my heart was beating, pounding with anxiety and stress and just a panic, like, oh my god, what am I going to say? And Mum said, "It's your auntie," and obviously love my auntie very much, nothing personal with her, really like her, but she called obviously to speak to me on the phone, and my auntie lived outside London, so I just felt so nervous, and I just felt like I can't do it. It was just a feeling inside me that I can't speak. I'm not going to know what to say. I might say the wrong thing. I'm going to embarrass myself in front of my auntie. I might embarrass my mum. My mum might be embarrassed of me because her son is not able to speak on the phone. And at that time, I thought everyone is normal in the world. I'm strange. Why have I got this fear? I wasn't even confident I'd be able to speak. My fear was I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to say, "Hi auntie, hello." And then when she's talking to me, I'm going to freeze up with fear, and I'm just going to be on the end of the line like that, and my auntie's going to think I'm in a bad mood, or I'm being rude, or I'm strange. So I was very scared about stuttering, and that's where a lot of the fear of speaking came from. And some of it came from I got bullied at school. I got made fun of, or I was told to shut up. So unconsciously, even though it weren't true, somewhere in my childhood mind was, I sound stupid, something's wrong with my voice, I'm not right, I'm not good enough in this area, right? I had confidence in other areas. I know it's a contradiction, but speaking to people on phone calls frightened me to death. So I remember trying to get out of it and saying to my mum, I can't, and I think my mum might have at a couple of points said, "Oh, he's not feeling well, he's tired," and my aunt would say, "No problem, give him a message, tell him I love him." I feel bad, I didn't want to lie and say that I can't come to the phone or if I'm sick, but I was kind of telling the truth because there's so much fear and anxiety and panic. And I remember thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? Like, my auntie's going to be speaking to me and I don't know what to say. Do I ask her how she is, or what if I say something stupid and it doesn't come across right? So that's my first memory. Moving on from that, a couple of other memories were if I had to phone up and apply for a job back then. You know, it was about giving CVs out, looking for jobs. It wasn't really online back then. You had to go to the store in person, or you had to pick up the phone. You know, there'll be various phone numbers for job vacancies in the newspaper, or yeah, or someone would give you a number, a friend or a teacher at school, or the careers. You know, you'd get a phone number of a list of jobs. And I just remember thinking, I can't call it, sitting there just looking at the phone number for about half an hour by the phone, and I can't do it. I'm so scared and frightened of speaking to another person on the phone. It just felt uncomfortable. So they're my early childhood memories, and I remember putting it off. But when I got to my early 20s and, you know, I started moving out of my parents and renting and living in different places, I got to a point where I had to make phone calls. I had to call up my landlord, you know, to pay a bill or to find out what the rent was. I had to call the maintenance when there was a leak. I had to call the electric people man, or the gas man, the water rates. I had to call the bank sometimes if the bank sent me a letter saying you owe money, or we owe you money, or can you call us? Or I had to, you know, I was applying for jobs, I had to call the job centre. So it got to a point in my life where I had to make phone calls, and one of the things I realised is I was a lot better than I actually thought I was in reality. So in my own mind, I had an idea that I'm not good on the phone. I'm just terrible. I'm a complete failure. But when I was forced into the situation, this is one of the tips I want to give you today. When you're pushed in the deep end, believe me, a confident part of you will show up. Your instincts will take over, your human instincts, and you will be a lot better than you're giving yourself credit for. Most of the time, the person on the phone is not thinking these negative things about you. I know it was my own insecurities. So it's your own insecurities of what you think other people are going to think about you on the other end of that phone line. And worst case scenario, if you do freeze up on a phone call, right? Or you do start stuttering and you can't get your words out right, I know it's horrible, but it's not going to kill you. You're not going to die, you're going to live to see another day. And one of the tips I want to give you, right, which will help you if you think that's going to happen, just say to the person in a positive way on the end of the line, look, apologies today, I'm having a bit of a bad day, I suffer with anxiety and I'm a little bit anxious making this phone call. I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time, the person on the other end will say, it's totally fine, that's fine, don't worry, I hope your day gets better. People are a lot more understanding than we realise. When we're so in our own head and we're so captured in our own fears and insecurities and anxieties, today being regards to speaking on the phone, we forget that people are human. No one's going to judge you as bad as you think they are. You're judging yourself worse than them. I judged myself when I was younger and through my mid-20s worse than any other human being would ever judge me. Worse than what bullies judged me at school, and some of the teachers, when they were a bit out of line, they called me, you know, put me down. So it's really about you know, getting over this fear, and you can definitely overcome it. So that's another tip, right? Is honesty. Is telling the person that you're feeling a bit nervous, and then that will settle your nerves. Once you get that out, once you say, you know, excuse me, I'm a bit nervous today, or phone calls make me nervous, you know, I prefer speaking in person, and most people probably would agree on that. And the person on the end of the line has got fears as well. Remember, every human being has fears, no one's perfect. So some people are not scared of speaking on the phone, that's fair enough, great. But they'll be scared of public speaking. Some people are good at public speaking, some people are terrified of speaking in front of the camera. They're not comfortable with, you know, with being on camera or taking pictures, or some people are very ashamed and embarrassed of their own voice. So if you used to tape their voice, play it back, they'd be like, no, oh, I don't want to hear it, I don't like how my voice sounds. So no one's perfect, none of us are perfect, but what you can do is, what I've done throughout my life since I got to my 20s, I always try and strengthen where I'm weak at, areas where I've got social anxiety or anxieties and fears. And sometimes you don't want to do it, I understand. I didn't feel like making the phone call today, but I had to do it and I feel better, and I did really well. Another tip is, right, now this could be a different matter, a lot of people are scared to call up their date or a person they've met, right? That's gave them their phone number and agreed to go out with them. When it comes to getting your phone out and making that call, a lot of people are scared because they're worried that they might mess up on the phone and then the person's going to reject you, not going to want to come out with you. So what you can do is you can get a piece of paper, right? And it's not a script, and you can write bullet points of all the things that you want to say. And that will help you. So when you get on the phone, you're not going to dry up and forget what you wanted to say initially. You can look at that paper as you're on the phone, and you can look at those bullet points, and they will help you to not forget the things that you want to say. Because that's another big human fear. People think that they're going to get on the phone and freeze up, and they're not going to have anything to say, and it's going to be very awkward for the person on the end of the line. So it's practice as well. You know, it's realizing that when you make the phone call, you're going to do some speaking, the other person's going to listen, they're going to do some speaking, they're going to respond to what you just said, you're going to listen to them, you're going to respond back to them until you get to the point that you need to get. So whether it's calling up because you need to resolve a leak in your house, or you need to call a landlord to pay your bill, or you've got to call the bank, or you need to call up and apply for a job, or you need to call employment or the job centre, or you need to call, sometimes I had a fear of it as well, people are scared of calling up tax, you need to call tax office, whatever person or company that you need to call, you'll have a couple of notes of the query, the thing that you need to solve. If you're calling someone and you need their help, then they're going to be there to assist you. So they're there to help you, they're there to help you solve your problem, and remember that when you call, and that will settle your nerves more. So these are all simple tips and they all work, and remember, you're only going to get better by facing the fear. So the first couple of times you do it, it's perfectly normal, it's going to feel awkward, it's going to feel unnatural, you're going to be kind of squirming inside. I know that feeling, it's not a nice feeling, but the more you do it, the less you're going to have a problem with this, and then you can get to a point where you'll actually might even enjoy phone calls. You'll get to a point where you're so confident and relaxed, it's no longer a fear or a phobia. Try and finish this video before the 15-minute mark. So it's all about breaking the fear down, and many years ago I didn't know how to break a fear down. I didn't have the experience I've got now. It's only looking back now, if I was to help my younger self, I would sit down, explain to him, coach him step by step through this fear so he could overcome it and could help. And that's why I feel fortunate that I can help other people today, especially who have social anxiety, a lot of anxiety in general with speaking to people. So it's all about learning to speak and perform and communicate with others over the phone whilst you're getting these feelings of nerves and anxiety, which are totally human. We forget so many times, I do it, we think that getting nervous or getting anxious is not human. It's human. It's completely normal. People, every single day we have moments in our lives where I have it every day. We get nervous, we get our tummy, like it turns, you know, there's a saying, my stomach's turning. Nervousness in the stomach, worrying, fearful thoughts, anxiety through the body. It's not a nice thing, but it's part of being human, and you just got to learn to work with it and just keep facing it. And the more you face it, the better you will feel, and you'll be so relieved and proud of yourself once you come off that phone and you've succeeded. And whether that phone call for you is selling, you might be in a business where you've got to sell on the phone, or maybe you've got to make a phone call to a family member and speak to them from abroad. You'll feel great after, and they'll feel good. Or maybe somebody needs to call you for a favour or some help, and the only way that they can reach you is by the phone. They can't get you in person, so you've got to assist them. So you just think of it like, I'm talking to other fellow human beings, you know, they're understanding, they're not robots. Well, let's hope not, right? The way technology is moving, but they're understanding. They know what it's like to feel fear. They felt fear. They've been nervous before a job interview. They've been nervous before going on the first date. They felt fear and anxiety when they had to move from one house to another. They felt nervous on their first day at work. They felt nervous on a first date. So why judge yourself? Why call yourself weird when you're not weird? You're human. and you're not less than anybody else, because if you see someone and you think, oh, look how confident they are on the phone, oh, I'm jealous of that person, you know, they make me feel beneath them, but no, you can get to their level. You didn't see how much practice they had to do, and you don't know what their childhood was like, and you don't know what their weaknesses and strengths are. So a lot of people, which I'm grateful for, admire my courage and confidence in how I can get in front of the camera and just speak really confidently and honestly. And sometimes I even have to, where I do make mistakes, and I show them and I don't edit them. I just put the video up, right? I just keep going. If I stutter or get nervous, I just keep going. I've got that confidence. People are really impressed by that. But you could do that if you really wanted to. I'm not forcing you. This is something that I chose to do, and I never thought I could do it. So speaking on the phone, speaking in front of a camera, you know, going on first dates, all these different fears, they are different areas, yes, but once you start learning how to face fear, you can tackle all these different areas. And just be patient, man. It took me a couple of years to get over this, and it shouldn't take you that long, because I've fast-tracked your success with this, because I've given you the tips today that you can apply. I didn't have these tips to start with, so I had to figure this out the hard way, the long way, and learn and fail on the way to success. So all the tips I've said today is honesty and openness. If you're that nervous, tell the person on the end of the line as soon as you make the call that you're having a bad day, or you're quite anxious when it comes to talking on the phone. That person will understand. That will help relieve the nerves, and you'll be able to speak clearer. Make a list, bullet points of the things that you need to say on this particular phone call. Whether you're phoning up someone to go out on a date, write down a couple of things that you want to say so that you can show your personality. If you're calling up because you need to call a landlord to cover an expense or pay rent, or to solve a query, make notes of what your phone call's about. So when you get on the phone, you're speaking with confidence. The person says hello, you said, yep, hi there, my name's Dave, my name's John, my name's Jenny, whatever your name is. I'm calling today on behalf of this problem that I'm having, and I'm wondering if you can help me to solve it. I've been told you're the person to call today. Because sometimes you make a phone call and they say, oh hi, yes, we don't deal with that matter, but we'll give you the phone and we're going to put you through to the people that deal with your matter, your query. So whatever your matter is, whether it's organising a first date, phoning for a job interview, if you're calling for a job, you might want to write down your name, your date of birth, some of your previous work experience. So when you call, you say, hi, my name's this, I'm calling in regards to the vacancy that you advertised, I'm interested, I wanted to talk to you about that and see if I could, if I can get the job, if I'm right for the job, if we're right for each other. And I've been given this person's name, good afternoon, how are you? You know, so you can present yourself in a confident way, and you've got positive energy, and that goes a long way. So don't give up, you can overcome it. If I can do it with how nervous and anxious I was, and I still have anxiety, as all of you know, I still suffer with it, that means anyone can do it, alright? Become fearless. See you soon. Let us know in the box below if this helped you a lot and give you confidence, and we can have a further conversation about it.